Hello, Gemini. Thank you very much for tuning into this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using Morgan Greer Tarot, older deck that I've had for a long time. I almost said Tarot Illuminati. Like I'm kind of drawn to that deck. Maybe next time. The supportive oracle cards. You are clairvoyant oracle cards by Belinda Grace. Illustration by Elaine Marzin. That way, if you'd like to find those creators or other things they might have done, I don't know if they have in any of these, but I know some of the other decks I have, they do. So if you like the imagery you're seeing and you want to see what else is out there, there you go. Gemini. Ooh. All right, we're going to put that down. Like, I'm excited about where you're going because I know how Gemini energy works, and I love it. Oh my god, I love it. I'm not a Gemini. Well, my rising is Gemini, so can I have a little bit of this? Can I? I'd like to, because this looks really good. Yeah, no, this still, you got a great outcome. Okay, you know, there's bumps and bruises along the way. Do we want this? Finding a mentor. Ooh. Get somebody else's opinion during this. This is like a sidecar thing. You don't have to do this, but when you're going through this situation, find people who are more past the, like, for example, if you wanted to own a bakery and you were going into owning a bakery, find people who've already done that and retired from it, or have, like, they've had their business but they're no longer doing it, because you'd be surprised. People are more open to tell you things when it no longer affects them the same way. You might want to get somebody who has, like, example, you know what I mean? They've already done it, but then they've moved on or retired from it or shut it down, and they'll give you information afterwards, because you might be surprised. They might just tell you a lot because they haven't talked about it in a while and they're passionate about it. You might get a ridiculous amount of information that you can do a lot with. That's just a side information thing, because whatever you're going towards, you're coming into it just playing with ideas. Sounds normal for Gemini to me. Community with nature journey. Basically, you're enjoying life when this starts. When this situation starts, you're just enjoying life. You're not really headed towards a goal at this point. Enjoying life, absorbing life, just, you might even be on vacation when this starts. Vacation, or on a weekend, or just, you're just really in a good place, emotionally just happy. And something comes towards you. It says gratitude. Yes, it's a good moment. But somebody is saying how they liked something. You're seeing how somebody else enjoyed something. And it's like seeing what they enjoyed. It's almost like looking at, like, I'm doing the bakery thing. I don't know why. But maybe like, I don't remember what you call those things. These little crumpet things. You're seeing them enjoy that. And you're kind of like, well, you know, I'm seeing what they like there. I'm seeing how much, you know, what they're liking about that. I know of things that are similar, and I know that I can make them a different way and probably make a really good change with that. This is one of those things where you're like, I see what they like, and I see why they like it, and I see how I could do it differently and maybe really get a lot of attention with that. And I like this. This is what this is starting off with. It's a good moment. It's just a good moment, just starting off with. That's how the situation is literally starting. A good moment, you're happy in a good moment, enjoying time with people. Somebody is liking something that they're liking, and you're like, oh, I could do something like that, a little different, and maybe get a better outcome. Could be like this, the start of that bakery idea, you know? Now, you got oneness with chakra balancing, and then you got this coming into the environment. The Four of Pentacles. So there's like a little bit of a restriction here. Whatever this situation is, whatever you're seeing somebody else like, you're noticing there's certain things that they expect from the situation. For example, I don't know why I'm doing the bakery thing, but say it's a donut for whatever reason. Their donuts, they don't like donuts unless they're fresh. They don't like them unless they're glazed. So they only eat fresh donuts and they only eat the glazed ones. They don't like that powdered sugar crap. Okay, so for some reason these two details, that may not be how everybody likes them, but it's like, it's making sense to you. Like, A lot of people feel that way. They only like them very fresh. A lot of people seem to really gravitate towards the glazed. I don't know. We're just using the analogy. And you're like, if I put the dough together and I get everything set and I just kind of freeze them or keep them in the fridge until people are ready for them, I can pop them in the oven and have them fresh and ready within 15 minutes or less, or pop them in the fryer, because I think you fry donuts, now that I'm thinking of it. I can pop them in there quick, glaze them really quick. I can pop them in there, put them in a little colder spot for a quick second, glaze them really quick, that way we won't have waste, and I can get these materials fairly cheap, and I can make a good penny on that. So you're realizing the restriction in what people want. I know the donut thing is a little strange, but I'm getting it's kind of like the details. That's what we're talking about. You're hitting like, oh, these certain details, they seem a little awkward. They seem like not everybody's open to that. But when I'm looking at this, I can make those details happen really easy and make out really good with that. And that's the oneness with the chakra balancing, with the restriction. Kind of like there seems to be a restriction here. But that's the thing with Gemini. You're like, aha, well, you think that's a restriction, but I can work with that. I can create a lot of possibilities even with restrictions. Like, that's not going to hold me back. So this is where you're going into next. Because you're talking this out. You might be talking this out with somebody else. Again, I'm using that analogy. If it was a bakery thing, this is where if you could find somebody who previously owned one or has retired from the bakery industry, somebody who's left that but had a lot of experience, there may be a plethora of information that you're not expecting. I'm just telling you, if you could find it, and not for nothing, Gemini, y'all find things that nobody else can find. You just know how to do it. So, just putting it out there. Because you're coming forward to the next situation, right? This situation just seems to take hold in your brain, and opportunities come your way. Meeting angels is telling me either a partnership or an opening or some type of opportunity comes your way in some fashion where you're like, you see it and you're just kind of like, I've been thinking about that and I see the possibility over there. This is the moment. I can either do it or not, and I think I'm going to do it because you're at that threshold. Opportunity is there. Could be a partnership with the meeting angels. It could be a partnership going in with somebody else and making something happen. The threshold is there. Are you going to do it? Are you going to make it happen? At first, it doesn't seem like an easy or quick start. Whatever you're coming into, whether it be a partnership with a person or an opportunity, whichever it is, there's a lot of demand here to start with. The Three of Pentacles, it's like whatever it is, whoever it is demanding a lot of work to get it going. The Ten of Swords shows up on your side, kind of like you're immediately connecting with, all right, either I have to invest a lot of money, a lot of my time, or a lot of learning, or something. I have to invest a lot. It's asking a lot of you to make this happen. And you're like, all right, if I'm doing this, I'm locking myself in for X amount of time. And you're going to be locking yourself in, and you're like, do I want to do that? Do I want to, that's the Ten of Swords. I'm feeling that right off the bat. Do I want to lock myself into this? Because you are locking yourself. It's like you're handcuffing yourself to the banister. You're just like, okay, if I handcuff myself to the banister, that restricts me. That does give me extra restrictions that are limiting what I can do. You can still do a lot. You can still do a lot, but you're like, it's like handcuffing yourself to the banister. Do I really want to be here? Am I sure I want to be here? Because if I do this, I'm not getting away from this for quite a while. That's the Ten of Swords. You have to really answer that question for yourself. It's coming into the Star card, which is kind of like, but I want this, and I think this can be great. I know it's going to be a lot of work. I know it's going to take up a lot of my time, and I'm not going to be able to get away from it, but I want it. I very much want it, and you're going for it. It's just coming to peace that you're coming to peace with yourself, that you are locking yourself into this. The Pentacle, especially the Star card coming into the Pentacle, is saying you're locking yourself in, and I feel like that's the biggest stress of this. I am committing myself to this, and once I'm here, then I'm here. That if it goes well or it doesn't, I'm here. I'm committing myself to this. I'm not going to be able to get out of it. You don't want this to pass you by, and you're afraid it will. Are you going to do this? It's going to take you a minute to think it over. This is all. The threshold is about accepting and asking yourself if you really want that. You got the Five of Pentacles is what's coming on your side next, because I feel like you're starting to let it slip away, and it's bothering you. You're kind of like, I don't really want this to slip away, and you're kind of like, it's bothering you so much, kind of like, I don't want to miss out. I don't want to lose this, but it's slipping away. With the Three of Wands, it's slipping away, and the Death card is here too. It's kind of like it's you're at that point. It's either do it or don't. It's not going to wait forever. You know what I mean? It's kind of like putting a donut on the counter. It's fresh today. It's not as fresh tomorrow. In a week, it's going to go stale. You know, even in isn't it like 2 to 3 days, actually, I think it goes stale. But still, you know what I'm saying? So if I want it, I need to choose it, and I need to go for it. Am I going to go for it? You're a bit hesitant, but this is what I see it coming out to. You see so many extra possibilities. What actually pushes you forward is you're like, if I do this, I am going to be handcuffing myself to the banister. But before I handcuff myself to the banister, I can put my iPad here. I can put this little refrigerator here, and I can stock it full of food. I can get my bedding here. I can actually even put a chain with this, so maybe I have like a 5-foot radius, so maybe I can give myself a little bit more wiggle room here. So maybe I can do that too. You're changing the situation. You're like, yeah, I have to handcuff myself to the banister, but I can do that with a chain. I can handcuff myself here and do that with a chain. Got more room. I got my food here. I got my entertainment here. I got my stuff over here. You're setting it up, and that's what changes it. You're like, wait a minute. If I'm gonna, before I agree to this, let me kind of just move it to my liking, and then you decide to do it. You're in. With the Seven of Pentacles, you are in. That's what I'm getting. You kind of like, all right, before I do that, let me set this up. And you're like, you're not just going to handcuff yourself to the banister and be like, I hope this works out. You're kind of like setting it all up. And you do. Now, whoever or whatever you're dealing with, there is stress here, but it's going forward to the next level. It definitely is going into a new phase here with the World card. If you're dealing with a person, be aware that they're really nervous about what you're going to do with this. They seem to be very nervous about you. That's fine. You'll prove your worth. Don't worry about it. Don't let it shake you. Realize that they're nervous. Also realize over time they're going to understand that they're going to be fine. It's going to be fine. It's just going to be one of those the proof is in the pudding situations. The farther you go, the better it gets, the more they feel okay with it. So don't let it rock you too much, because once you're into the situation, you're into the situation. You got the Chariot with the Five of Wands. You're going to fight to make this work out. You're going to fight to make this what you want it to be. You're not going to just let it just be there in the sense of like just whatever happens, happens. You're actively moving it forward. You set this up so you could. You set this up to win, and you got a lot of drive to win. You got a lot more choices, but you're good with choices. The trick is don't hover on choices. Just keep making choices. And this is what this type of situation is. You got to fight yourself a little bit and keep forcing yourself forward. Don't let yourself think about things too much. Give yourself a little bit of time, but then make a decision, and then just keep making decisions and keep correcting as you go. Keep in motion. You know what I mean? You want to kind of like, you're running down the street, you know, keep running. Don't stop running. Make your choice. Keep running forward, and don't run in a circle until you decide you want to make that choice. You come towards crossroads, choose left or right. Keep going. You come to another one, choose. Come to another one, keep choosing. As you're approaching it, make your choice and keep moving. You will be fine. Keep your communication open, especially if you have a partner. Keep the information flowing. What choices you're making, why you're making the choices, keep going. They will feed you more information. They will help you as you keep going forward. Keep in motion. Keep in motion. The choices with the integrity is like, as long as you're forthcoming and honest about why you're making decisions, this will flow your way. Keep going, keep moving, keep going, keep moving. The Chariot says keep moving. You're going to have to fight yourself because you're going to want to step back. You're going to want to step back and kind of debate over things. Don't let yourself do that. That will cause problems. Whatever you're dealing with, be it a partner or whatever you might be dealing with, they're not going to make the decisions for you. You have to be the one making the decisions for the success of this. So you have to decide and keep deciding. As long as you keep deciding, it will go well. You're the one that needs to do that. That's where the success lies in this. If you keep doing that, you will be very happy with the situation, and the situation will be very lucrative or very positive or very worthwhile. I feel like that's, you have to keep moving, keep deciding, keep moving, keep deciding. As long as you keep that up, ironically, it will work well. Don't let yourself overthink things. Force yourself to keep going, keep going, keep going. As long as the communication is open, you'll be good. If you do stall out, though, and you hover on a situation too long, that's when you're going to start having problems. That's when it's going to start being stressful. Ironically, but that's what I'm getting from that. All right, I'm going to shut this down here. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. Thank you.